Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
Good morning. So, is there any problem with your last class? How many of the students participated till now?
Ma'am, 27.
27. Shall we wait or start? We shall wait for 2-3 minutes now, because normally 33-35 students enter in the class.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you repeat again equilibrium point?
You need the equilibrium point. Okay, just wait, huh? I have to.
Genre
So you want this diagram or the full concept? Yes, your voice is too low.
Only diagram, ma'am.
Only diagram. Okay. So we know that when we determine the market price, first of all, we need what is the demand curve. That means market demand curve. I mentioned that market demand curve is a combination of individual demand curves. Okay. So suppose in a market there are 10 individuals. So each of the individual have their own demand curve. If we add up all the demand curves, that means all the individuals, suppose 10 individuals, then what we have to do, we have to add all the demand curves. So each individual have one demand, each demand curve. That means if there are 10 individuals or 10 consumers, then how many demand curves are there? There are 10 demand curves. Okay. So we have to add up all the 10 demand curves, that means individual demand curves, then we will get the market demand curve. Okay. Similarly, the supply curve is determined on the side of the producers. So suppose there are 5 producers in the market or 5 suppliers in the market. So what they have to do, they have their own supply curve. So 5 suppliers means 5 producers means 5 supply curve. If we add up each of the individual supply curve, then we get the market supply curve. So the diagram, in the diagram where you see the demand curve and supply curve, so this demand curve and this supply curve both are the market demand curve and market supply curve. That means they are, what happened, I don't know what oh yeah. So this demand curve is a market demand curve and this supply curve is a market supply curve. Okay. So I mentioned that whenever we determine the price of a commodity, so at we determine the price on that point where demand and supply are equal. That means when market demand and market supply are equal. So where we get, so in the diagram you see, so where we get the equal demand and equal supply curve. So this is the market demand curve, this is the market supply curve, and at this point, so here what happened at this point, suppose this is the demand curve, demand and supply. So demand is less than the amount of supply. So on the other hand, suppose in this point, so here what happened, supply is less than the demand. So we can say that it is the only point where demand and supply are equal. Correct? Till now, is there any problem? Yes, students. Till now, is there any problem?
Supply and
Yeah.
hello, ma'am.
Huh.
Only supply and demand equal. Yeah, price also equal.
No, no. First of all, we have to check where demand and supply are equal. Okay. Where demand and supply are equal, at that point only we will determine the price. So price should not be equal. The thing is that where demand and supply are equal, at that point we determine the price of the commodity. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
So price is later determined. First of all, we have to find out the point where market demand and market supply are equal. Where we get market demand, and suppose in this diagram, this is point E, where market demand and market supply are equal, because at this point both the curves are intersect. So this is the point of equilibrium. Okay, so from this point, if we draw a perpendicular line to the, this is the price axis, yes, the y-axis is the price axis. So if we draw a perpendicular line on the price axis, then we will determine the equilibrium price. Clear? So price is determined later on the basis of the intersecting point of demand and supply. Similarly, from this point, so we have to determine price now. So at this price, what amount of quantity is demanded or what amount of supply is supplied, the commodity is supplied in the market. So again we have to draw a perpendicular line from this equilibrium point to the x-axis. That means this is the quantity axis. So if we draw a perpendicular line to the quantity axis, the point where it intersects the quantity axis, at that point only we will determine the equilibrium quantity supplied in the market. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now in this diagram we just check what this is the way how we determine the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. That means this is the point, this is the way how we determine market price of a commodity. Okay, so now this P1 and P3, these are the two prices which I represent on the diagram. This only shows what will happen if we not determine the price on this equilibrium point. Clear? So what will happen if we determine the price at P1 point? So if we determine the market price at this point, then what may happen, we will discuss that. So if we determine price at P1, then what happen? We have to draw a line to the demand curve, market demand curve and market supply curve. Then what happen? What is the amount of market demand? If price is P1, market demand is this much, P1A. Now, what is the amount of market supply? So, market supply is P1B. So, is at this point demand and supply are equal?
No, ma'am.
No. So, which one is higher, demand or supply?
Supply curve.
Supply is more than demand at this point. So, which is the portion of supply, excess supply? That means more supply. So AB is the amount of excess supply in the market. Okay, so AB is the portion of excess supply in the market which is not sold by the producers or suppliers in the market. So that means this is the amount which is wastage in the market. So what producers already produces, so what they want to do with this excess supply in the market, then they have to reduce the price of their commodity. So when they start to reduce their prices of the commodity, initially suppose next price is determined at suppose this point. So when price is at this point, what happened? You check the demand is little bit more than this point. Similarly, at this point also, supply is also low because we know that if your price reduces, supply also reduces. Okay, so in this way, still there is a gap between demand and supply. So in this way, the continuous fall of the prices of that particular commodity in the market, and finally the producers find out this equilibrium point where demand and supply are equal, and the producers settle down the price at this point. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you explain what will happen if the price is determined at P3?
Demand increase and supply decrease.
Yeah. Then? PR is not there properly.
Then
For that, so demand is more than supply. Okay, so if demand is more than supply, then what happen? At that point, producers,
inc-
yes,
incre- so ma'am, price also
price also
increase.
price also increases because there is a
Yes,
low high demand, low supply. So
yes, ma'am.
producer, what they want that they, if they they know that if their price of the commodity increases, then also there are available customers, available demand of the commodity, and some of the customers are ready to purchase the commodity at a higher price also. So they continuously increases the prices of their commodities, and finally they reach this point, this equilibrium point, where their demand and supply are equal and price is set at P2. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, is there any doubt? You check the diagram again, and if still you have some doubt, then ask me.
No doubt, ma'am. Clear. Clear, ma'am.
Okay. It's clear now? So, everyone
Yes, ma'am.
clear? So, if you want to, did you write this note?
No, ma'am.
You again read this note once again. So, if you still have any doubt, then ask me.
No doubt, ma'am. All of you clear it? Yes, ma'am.
So, can I start today's topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we'll start the another topic, elasticity of demand. So you just the concept of elasticity of demand, which is written on your slide. Yes, students. Hello, am I audible?
Ma'am, slide is not visible.
Slide is not visible.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Is it visible now?
Ma'am,
No,
it's
ma'am.
loading. It's loading.
IT officer.
Ma'am, ma'am, the slide is still loading.
It is still invisible.
Yes, ma'am, it's not visible.
It's not visible.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, now then, if it is not visible, I don't know what happened. Maybe the network issue or something else. Just wait 1 second. I will try once. Otherwise, without slide, I try to explain you what is the concept. And next class, I will show you the slides because already, I think how many minutes gone? 10 to 15 minutes left. Hide me. Okay. So it's invisible, na? Still not visible, na?
Invisible,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Ma'am, it's invisible, ma'am.
It is visible.
No, ma'am. It's still showing loading.
Ma'am.
Okay,
Black screen,
loading. I
ma'am.
don't know. Maybe the network issue. Okay. So today, next class or today, we will start the topic elasticity of demand. Okay. So elasticity. You heard the word elasticity or elastic.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
do you mean by the term elastic?
Stretchable.
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 Okay. So the term elasticity comes from the word elastic. Okay. So elasticity of demand means, suppose we all know that if price of a commodity changes, the demand changes. Correct. We all know about it. So elasticity of demand represents how much price change of a commodity, how much demand changes. Okay, that means it indicates the elasticity of demand studies how much percentage of price changes of a commodity how much percentage of demand changes of that commodity. That means, first of all, price should be changes. Suppose price changes 5%. So if 5% price increases or decreases, so what is the effect of that 5% price change on a commodity? We have to calculate 5%. Suppose the price of a commodity is 10 rupees. Now the price of a commodity increases to suppose 12 rupees. So when it is 10 rupees, then so 12 rupees, that means we have to find out, calculate what is the percentage of price change. Next, we are given that when the price is 10 rupees, the price of the quantity demand is suppose 10 kg. When it is 12 rupees, quantity demand reduces to suppose 8 kg. Okay, so how, first of all, we have to calculate what is the amount, percentage of price change. Secondly, we have to calculate what is the amount of percentage of demand changes. You got it? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
tell me one by one,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the concept of elasticity of demand? I just want to check how much you understood. Yes, still one. So there are 34 participants.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
when the demand of a product changes, when a product
Ha ha ha.
gets its
Just wait 1 second. It's
when
so
the
noisy.
when
Yes.
when the price of a product increases or decreases, the change in demand is called elasticity.
Okay, next. Anyone next? What happened? Out of 34 participants, only one respond.
Change in demand due to change in price is called elasticity.
So see, when price changes, demand changes. So how much percentage price change, and how, with respect to that price change, how much percentage demand change? So the concept of percentage is very important to calculate this price to calculate this elasticity of demand. Okay, percentage is very necessary. So when I will able to give you the slides, then you will see everywhere, because in this case you have to do the numerical figures, you have to solve certain numerical problems. So we have to calculate the percentage. Okay, that means out of 100%, how much, what is the amount of price changes, what is the percentage of, suppose 5% price change, 3% price change, and we have to find out what is the percentage of demand changes. Suppose 3% demand changes, 5% demand changes, 10% demand changes. So this is the concept how we will calculate elasticity of demand. So in elasticity of demand, there are three different methods or three different types of elasticity of demand. First one is price elasticity of demand. The second one is income elasticity of demand. And the third one is cross elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand is the thing where price changes, and with that price change, how much percentage of commodity demand change. In case of income elasticity of demand, we know that if consumers income changes, suppose your income changes, then obviously your elasticity or your demand also changes. So when your income changes, we have to calculate how much percentage your income changes and how much percentage your quantity demand of a particular commodity changes. So that is the income elasticity of demand. And the third one is cross elasticity of demand. So I already mentioned you that there are three types of commodity: substitute commodity, complementary commodity, and not related commodity. So in case of substitute commodity, suppose tea and coffee, what happen if the price of tea changes, the demand of coffee automatically changes. We already discussed about it. Yes. So in cross elasticity of demand, we have to calculate what is the amount, what is the percentage of price change of tea, and due to the change of price change of tea, how much percentage of demand changes of coffee. So that will be discusses on our cross elasticity of demand. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So next class, when I will be able to share you the screen, so next class we will discuss it broadly with the your numerical figure. So next class you will be ready with pen and paper, because I will give certain examples, numerical examples, which you have to solve and send me the photo. Okay. So now
Okay, ma'am.
give me your attendances. Just 1 second. Yes, 1 to 10.
Ma'am, 2, ma'am.
2,
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
4.
9.
Ma'am, 5.
Ma'am, 2.
4, 5,
Ma'am, 4.
9, ma'am.
9, 4 is
5.
given. 5, 2, 4, 5, 9, 11 to 20,
Ma'am, 13.
Ma'am, 10, 1 0, 10.
Ma'am,
13,
20.
13, 10, 20.
11, ma'am.
Ma'am, 20.
20 given, and 11,
11, 11.
11, then 21
61,
to,
ma'am.
huh?
61.
To 61 you have to wait. 21 to 30,
30, ma'am.
26, ma'am.
26, 30,
25, ma'am.
25,
Yes, ma'am.
24.
24,
21.
21, then 31 to 40,
Ma'am, 31.
7.
Ma'am, 34.
31, 34, 37, then,
Ma'am,
yeah,
my portal is, ma'am, your class is not showing my portal.
yes, last class or earlier classes also.
Also, all to tell. Not showing.
Okay, you just write your name. I will show it to IT. Okay. Your name and roll number, enrollment number. I have to show your name and roll number, enrollment number to IT office. What happened? We just try to solve the problem.
Ma'am, who have WhatsApp group?
Yeah, WhatsApp group. Okay, 41 to 50. In between 41 to 50.
Ma'am, 44.
43.
Ma'am, 41.
43.
48.
Ma'am, 39.
49. 39 given. 49.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
44.
Ma'am,
44.
43.
43. Huh?
50.
50 given.
44.
44
44.
given.
Ma'am,
44, 48,
43.
43, 49. Anyone?
Ma'am, 41.
41. Then in between 40 to 50. Oh, sorry, 51 to 60.
Ma'am, 58.
57.
Ma'am, 53.
58, 53, 57.
57.
Yeah,
I'm
57 then.
55.
55,
I'm 55.
55 given. Again, 61 to 70.
I'm 64.
61, ma'am.
64,
66, ma'am.
66,
Ma'am,
64.
67.
65,
Ma'am, 66.
60 given.
65, ma'am.
65 given. 61,
64.
64, 60, huh?
62,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
67.
62, 67.
66, ma'am.
66 given. Okay, I send your roll numbers in the group. Check it out. If anyone left, then give that and give the roll number. Okay. Okay. So we will stop our class, today's class here. Next, we will meet on Monday. Okay. Oh, Monday, no.
Okay, ma'am.
Saturday, na,
ma'am.
next
Thank
class.
you.
Okay. Next, we will meet on Saturday.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.